Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of 60 Minutes Nigeria. My name is Egosa Agbolaho. A lot has happened in the country, and on the program, we will make an attempt to dissect a very crucial national issue. And it has to do with the rising rate of unemployment in the country, which has been tied to a number of problems bedeviling this wonderful country. I have with me two distinguished gentlemen. Apostle Elvis Agbonaima, a man of God and a very renowned analyst on national issues. Nice to have you with us today. I also have with us a university lecturer and of course an analyst of repute as well, Dr. Martin Lusagi. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Osa.
Okay, matters are rising. Tackling rising rate of unemployment. It is believed that unemployment in Nigeria has reached an alarming state. The federal government is unable to fully tackle the issue of unemployment. Same problem happens in the states of the country. So many youths, teeming youths, unemployed. And now Nigeria is bedeviled with a number of issues. 1, social menace. 2, security problem. In the southeast, recently, we've seen armed youths, unknown, attacking police stations. Of course, in other states, we've seen the menace, the insecurity. And so many people believe that the youths need employment. Well, my guest will do justice to the issue, and we'll be starting with Dr. Martin Lusagi. What's your take on this problem of rising rate of unemployment?
Okay, thank you, Egosa, and thank you, viewers at home. When we say what is the cause of the rising or the increase in the unemployment rate in the country, it's a two-way thing. And however, but one is kind of heavier than the other one,
okay,
or weightier than the other one. But for a summary, which I believe when you ask the next question, I will deal with it seriously. Okay. On a summary basis, I think the rising cause of the unemployment among the workforce, because when we get there, we'll classify that.
Yes.
The rising rate among the workforce is two things. One, the government is not there at all. 2, we have this social degraded mind towards creating the enabling environment for ourselves first, before even talking about government also assisting. Yeah. As an average individual, we lack the understanding to believe that job is not just from government perspective only, so it has to do with every one of us. Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is this. What is unemployment? We need to get that clear. What is unemployment? Yeah. Because if we don't know what is unemployment, it becomes a kind of an issue to us to actually expose the nitty-gritty of what the jobless nature of the country represent. Yeah. Now, according to English dictionary, unemployment is defined as the rate of percentage of a workforce who are classified jobless. So, rate of percentage, or the percentage rate of the labor force. Now, the next question is, who do we classify as the labor force? Now, these are people who has the ability, the capability, the strength, and the wherewithal to deliver on any job if given the needed opportunity. Age-wise, you could say, okay, from 18 You know, in government, they tell you you can serve for 35 years. Now, the reason for you serving for 35 years, if you peradventure get the job at 18, you add 35 years to it, which means that is your prime time of your strength to actually deliver on the job.
Okay.
Now, statistically speaking, that particular workforce is high in number. When we look at the statistic later, is very high in number compared to those that are having job. Thank you.
Thank you. So your opening remarks, Dr. Maxwell, you've attempted to give us the foundation of what unemployment is all about. But it's a very mind-boggling issue because it's tied to a number of problems bedeviling any country, tackling rising rate of unemployment. Let's get the thought of Elvis Agbonaima. What's your take on this issue?
Well, viewers, good afternoon.
Okay.
I think December 2020,
Okay.
the rate of jobless people in Nigeria was at 33.3%, which is very, very high. You know, to be sincere with you, you know, I look at it from different angles, and I discovered that the reason for so much joblessness in Nigeria, I can trace it to wastage.
Okay.
Serious wastage.
Okay.
For example, by the grace of God, I am an employer.
Okay.
And though on my own capacity, there are many persons in this town who can employ it. You know, for example, you will see, you know, there's a particular politician, I don't want to mention name, a former senator who begin to showcase his wealth, his cars, which if part of it is sold and a business is established, people can work. That's why I talk about wastage. When you see some people, they have a lot of money, they are not ready, you know, to invest. To invest. Like ITV now, the owner of ITV has done his part. You know, has other businesses, people are working here, they are receiving salary and all that. You know, why there are people who has a lot, you know, their money is in the bank, their own is to acquire, you know, assets that are not going to be useful to the people. You know, like buying cars of millions upon millions, which is not a sin, but it could have been better if you have established a business that people will be working. I see that as wastage. You know, that's the reason why I discovered that it has increased, you know, the joblessness of our people. And again, if you look at the, you know, talking about the joblessness, like I told you, 33.3% high rate of joblessness, you know, is very high. I think Nigeria is, from December 2020, Nigeria is at the second, you know, nation that is so unemployed, that has unemployed youth, unemployed people, joblessness. I think second in the world. At about December, I have not checked now. Now again, another you know, issue, you know, outside wastage, we talked about, you know, look at, you know, from my own personal view, you know, the banking system, they have not really helped. They are part of it. You know, the process, you know, of getting low. You know, if you go to some Western world, you know, everybody must not work in government house. You know, there are those banks that they make it easy that if you have a plan, you want to do business, you can, you know, can access a loan. But our banks here, our bank industry here, they have made it so difficult. Sure, the interest rate is very high. The collateral is very difficult. Therefore, even when you go and collect, you can't meet up. It's difficult. You get it done. Now, as I'm talking about the bank, these are the root cause of the reason why, you know, there's so much joblessness. Then we look at the government itself. The government itself is not sincere. Insincerity is the order of the day. For example, most of the money that they say they release for social empowerment, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really get to the people, the people that need it. You know, the same, you know, elite that has money, that has the connection, that has been blessed, they are still the one that hijack your system. You know, our leader, the government, the system is not favorable. They are you know, they are not sincere to the masses. For example, if you listen and you watch your TV every time, you hear that so much money has been released to empower people. You know, the level of insincerity, you know, in the part of the leader, the government, has also made the joblessness to increase. You get it now? Because the implementation, what we are hearing, it has become story. What we are hearing from the media, from the news, there's also billions that be released by CBN, by Bank of Industry. People cannot access it. Those who really want, there are a lot of, listen, if you go outside the country, Nigerians are very hardworking people. You see, when Nigerians leave this place, they do well in other countries. Why? Right. Because Nigerians are hardworking people. Now, we don't want to, it's just because of all these problems, because the insincerity of the government, wastage, and then the attitude of the banks and all that, is part of the reason why you are the level of joblessness is increasing every day.
Okay, thank you. Apostle will come back to you. But Dr. Maxwell, you are in the university environment. You churn out students, graduates. You train graduates. Are you perturbed with the rate of unemployment? Most of these graduates, after university education, after polytechnic education, are unemployed. Are you disturbed?
Yes, I'm worried.
Okay.
I am perturbed. Because every year we roll our students.
Yes.
And when you roll our students, they add to the workforce. Now, currently we have 2-1 product, first-class product all over the country. That institution roll out day by day without job.
That's terrible.
Now, in the days of the old, our father's era,
yes,
I remember my father telling me that with the school set which he graduated with, then they came to pick him, Julius Berger. Picked him as a staff of Julius Berger. Now, we live in a society.
Can you recall the year?
I can't recall the year,
okay,
but my father
70s.
was my father was given birth in 1935.
Okay.
So it should be within that 40, 50,
yes,
or early 60 thereabout.
Okay.
Now, the point I'm trying to make here right now. Now, there was a point in, a certain time in this country when you are doing accreditation, convocation, you see companies coming in to look for the best graduating student and absorb them. And you, when InterSwitch came started, how they were moving from institution to institution to collect the best hands. But today you see institution graduating, graduate upon graduate upon graduate, without one company even asking you, can I get your best graduating student? So that alone is a worrisome issue.
Before you continue, Dr. Maxwell.
Thank you.
Now, don't you think these institutions, these companies are disappointed in the standard of the graduates churned out by Nigerian universities? There's a school of thought that has the belief that some of our graduates are not employable. Do you think that's the reason?
Thank you, my brother. When you use the word, the Nigeria graduates are not employable. Have you employed them? It's only when you have employed them. If the statistic is actually speaking well enough to say, okay, we have employed so number. No company or no National Bureau of Statistics has not been able, because it's not factual and I cannot believe that. Okay. Because it is not a statistic that I can stand on to say Nigeria graduates are not employable. Because there is no data supporting that.
Okay.
Now, it's a hearsay thing that Nigeria students are not employable. But the same Nigeria students, when you see them outside this country, by way of luck or chance, get employed into one particular agency or the other, they prove themselves so high. So what do you say to that? So I cannot speak authoritatively on that because I do not have data. I speak with fact. Those are hearsay saying that Nigeria, they've not employed them. So how do you conclude, or how do you kind of generalize a statement? Maybe you just try one person and everything. Yes, everywhere we understand. We understand. It is not if among our children, we know those that are up and doing. We also know those that are not up and doing. Now, the point is this. For the fact that you graduate 50 students, one is bad. Does that make everybody bad? Or does that make everybody unemployable?
No.
So if Jesus himself, that had 12 disciples, automatically one was bad, does that make the rest disciples bad? No. So we should learn to classify things based on data, fact, and figure.
Okay.
Now, having said that, it will interest you to know, You heard Reverend Apostle when he was telling you that according to as it run in December, 33.3% of the Nigerian workforce are jobless. 33.3
is very disturbing.
Are jobless. Not the population now, the workforce. Now the workforce is the particular strength that represents the total population, because it is that workforce that determines your economy. It is that workforce that determines whether their parents or their brothers or their sisters or their relative will eat. Now, if that particular workforce, we are saying, I will give you a statistic of the Nigeria of the workforce as we speak. Now, let's go somewhere. Let me take you a bit further statistically. It's just that I don't know. Maybe next time I will try to give you a digital representative.
Okay.
If you people allow that, I will give you a digital representative. We are not responsible for the display of this data or giving of this data, but there are bodies which are saddled with the responsibility of telling us, okay, this is the statistic for this particular that. Now, National Bureau of Statistics told us that in the last quarter, which he quoted, that in the last quarter it was 33.3% Nigerian workforce unemployed. Now, that was the fourth quarter. Now, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, they do it quarterly, and we have 4 quarters in a year. Now, they've not released the first quarter because maybe they should be working between January and this time right now to be able to get the actual range of the statistic of the current workforce. But guess what? In the second quarter of 2020, the Nigeria unemployment rate was 27.1%. Now, between second quarter and fourth quarter, which is less than 6 months, which is less than 6 months, now we had an increase rate of 6.2%. So if we had an increase rate of 6.2%, believe you me, I want to believe when they release this one, you will see another increase rate of from even more than 6. So it is not getting better. Now, for the fact that it's not getting better, and we have government that read this data day by day, and they don't do anything with it, then you keep telling us that, okay, you are creating social investment, like empowering people, 774 local government down to, you want to be giving them stipend. Now, who are the jobless people? Who are the unemployed people? Let me define it. So take it or you leave it. Any job without security, to me, I classify it as as somebody that is unemployed. If your boss can just wake up today and say, leave my office, you are unemployed. Now, let me get it clear. Now, if you look at those that we classify as unemployed right now, according to Bloomberg, this is how they classified it. Bloomberg said 69.7 million Nigerian workforce work less than 20 hours a day, a week. Now, he went further to tell us that 15.3 million as well work less than 40 hours a week. Now, you and I know that the actual working hours a day is between 4 and what? I mean, between 8 and 4. Now, which represent 8 hours a day. Now, if you aggregate that together, you get a total 40 hours a week. Now, this is what Bloomberg said. If we have 69.7 million Nigerian workforce who work less than 20 hours a day, a week, they are jobless. They are unemployed. The same way, if we have 15.3 million Nigeria who work less than 40 hours a week, they are jobless, unemployed. So now aggregate that together and get a percentage of, you are already getting a percentage, a total population of close to 100 million Nigeria without job. And it's an issue.
Yeah, Doctor, we'll come back to you. You've been able to analyze the issues in terms of statistics and all of that. But Apostle was making a point, and he was saying that there's a very big problem that has led to unemployment. He talked about wastage and some other issues. Now, Is it wastage in government? You didn't look at that aspect of government. Some persons believe that even public office holders, their salary should be cut. Politicians, their salary should be cut. Senators, salary. Is that wasted, or the way the executive spend funds?
Okay, let me quickly say this. When I talk about wastage, even before I talk about wastage, let me talk about insecurity.
Okay.
Now, do you know that a lot of foreign investors, they are afraid to come to Nigeria to invest because of the level of insecurity? That's why when they are going to release, another statistic concerning joblessness, it's going to be double.
Yes.
Because for what has happened for the recent time now, a lot of businesses have been shut down. A lot of persons have lost jobs again in this new year. Now, insecurity, because of insincerity of the government to tackle insecurity, it has exposed Nigeria as a nation economy, that there are many businesses, many companies, many sectors, they are just there, nothing is happening. Some of them, their headquarters has been moved out of Nigeria because of the fear of bandage and all that, kidnapping. You will hear in your news, you record it here, how some companies' staffs have been, kidnapped, killed, and nothing happened. Now a lot of people are afraid, even those who are into farming, some of them are afraid to go to their farm. Now, that thing alone has made a lot of foreign investors to pull out of the economy, to pull out of the country, because they discover that their business, their money, everything is not safe. Nobody wants to invest and lose his money. You get it done?
Yeah.
Now, that alone has added to a large form to joblessness in Nigeria. That is why. Now, talking about wastage. Wastage, I was talking from the individual aspect.
Yeah.
There are too many people in this nation that God has blessed, that has money. That's why I respect some people like the owner of this, this TV station, because he has established this. I said before.
The Sama of Benin,
he has put food in
Gabriel Osawaru
You get it?
Yes.
Now, if all the elites, if all the big men are doing the same, because when you go to some people compound, you have lost risk of cars. You have a lot of, they are putting their money on what will not benefit the society. Now, but for a venture, you have a company, and the people will be working there. Now you have been able to remove A or B out of the streets. Okay. Then talking about wastage, even the government itself, the money the politicians are taking home, the political appointee, he's too much. He's on the high side. And that's why sometimes I feel pain when I see civil servants coming to be protesting for how much? What the amount they are protesting for is not even enough for the charge card for for a local government chairman for the month. I'm telling you, you get it now. All their salary, if really they want to restructure everything, they want this country to grow, to move forward. The first thing they will do, from the president to the governor, their salary, their allowances should be cut down. At least they should cut it down by, let's say, 50-50. Let's start from there.
Okay.
You get it now? Those money can be, because there's a lot of wastage. That's why a lot of people, they are fighting to be appointed, because a lot to collect. They call it national cake.
Yes.
And the thing is killing the economy. You get it now? Even as we are talking about people are losing jobs now, it's not affecting the politicians, those who are in power. It's true. It's not affecting them, because at the end of the month, do you know what is the governor's security vote of different states? It's in millions.
They use it to tackle security problems.
Sir, now let's not go there. It's a different topic.
Okay, sir. Okay, I agree with you.
It's a different topic.
Okay.
We know what is happening.
Yes.
We know what is happening, because if they are really using that money, I tell you the truth, the noise of what is happening. Okay, they are using the money.
Okay.
And the level
you are saying we should look at it another.
Now, in
yes.
government, the wastage is on the high side.
Okay.
You got it, sir? Go and check what a local government chairman takes. If you go to Western world, the life of a governor is like a life of a local government chairman here. But a life of a local government chairman here is like a life of a president over there. You get it now? In Western world, a local government chairman can be in an apartment with a commoner. But here, it's not like that. Now, if they really want to put things right, they have to start with themselves. Because, people will say charity begins at home.
Yeah.
They have to start with themselves, starting from cutting down their salaries.
Okay.
Not just their salary. Sometimes their salary is not the main thing. The allowances.
Okay.
But, wardrobe allowances, transport allowances, all those things. Are you aware there are some people in this government that have never bought fuel for the last 16 years? Because they are in power. That's why when you are talking about fuel increase, they don't feel it. They don't go to market with their money. There are some people in power in this government that have not gone to market for 16 years to buy food with their money. That's why when the prices of commodities is increasing every day, they don't feel it because it's not their personal money. You get it now? As I speak to you now, they still get what they still receive what that have been budgeted. Now the budget does not affect them. It only affects the commoners. It only affects the real Nigerians. They said they are our slave. When some people say, well, like election will come very soon now, you hear people say, we are going to serve it. No, they are the master now. You get it now. Now because you said the person that you say you are serving is jobless. You that is serving somebody, your take home is unexplainable.
Yes.
You get it now. Now we should be sincere because what we are seeing there, our leaders are not sincere to ourselves. They are not sincere to us. There's no transparency. Now you say you want to fix the government. You have not worked on your salary. All the governors, the other day I heard that a particular state, Kaduna State, he said he wants to, retrain over 4,000, if I'm not mistaken.
They did.
He has retrieved them. Now, he has not told us that his salary, for example, was 50,000 naira. He has reduced it to 25,000. Who is fooling who? We are wiser. We are just watching. Though we are praying to God. But what is scenario? Because every day, sir, they go with security. That's why when an hungry man, because an hungry man is what? An angry man.
Okay. That's what they say.
Yes. Now, a man who do not have a job, because people are losing job every day, they are losing their work every day. They are being pushed out to the labor market every day. Are you getting me now? Now, even the bank, like I said, the banks has even come to add to the problem. Because go to bank, no matter how the plan you have, go to bank and say you want to get loan or you need loan. The process they will take you through, you can't. And even when you get it, the interest rate, you can't stand it. You get it now? Even all these, like I talked about, CBN, that, sometimes I don't know, all this story theory, we should stop it. Because all this money, except maybe, like I heard, I don't know, I don't have the fact, that most of this money that they are releasing from CBN and Bank of Industry goes to a section of Nigeria. There's a section of Nigeria that they benefit more than some others. You get it now?
Okay. We are looking at under matters tackling rising rate of unemployment, and of course, our very two distinguished personalities with me on the show today. Apostle Elvis Agbonaima was making some very emotional comments before the break. We also have with us Dr. Martin Lusagi, who is a lecturer. Okay, Dr. Elvis, I think you've made your point. We'll come back to you. Let's get the thought of Dr. Martin Lusagi. Now, it is believed that this rising rate of unemployment is actually attributable to the problems of this country, which also include the level of insecurity. Do you agree?
Yes, that's fact. That's a big fact.
Okay.
Because I was having a discussion with my brother. I try not to be sentimental or religious about my statement or the way I view things.
Yeah.
I try to be factual and evidence and proving. Yeah. Now, I was having a discussion with my brother. He was saying something that, my brother, do you see the rate of inflow of this northerner to the southerner, and there is an agenda and everything Yeah. And I ask a question. They are in Nigeria. So if they are in Nigeria, they move from Kano to Benin. They are in Nigeria. Does that solve the economic issue? Now, do you think if the economy issue is okay, these people will be migrating up and down and everything? Now, the fact is this. Our problem in the South is even that it's like the school we went to is even affecting us. Now, you heard my brother saying something just now. Apostle saying something just now that Bank of Industry or World Bank, all these agencies releasing funds. Yes, indeed, there are constant funds being released by either supporting agency to help a country survive and everything. But it is obvious that in the South, we don't have idea about it. I have a close northerner friend that always updates me.
Okay.
He always gives me update of the new one that just came out and everything. Oh, this, they just open, they will open the portal, but by the time they finish with all of them there, they will now open the portal. Then it will not spend like 1 week, they close the portal. You and I will not have access to it again and everything. So I don't want to be sentimental. I don't want to go too far on that matter, so that don't create another kind of mindset, because we are opinion molders. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to come here and create an uncertainty in the minds of people. Yeah. Now, but I haven't said that the insecurity you see today is directly proportional to joblessness, unemployment. Now, take it or you leave it. If you have somebody that goes to work every day, at least work like out of the 8 hours, work 6 hours or 5 hours, it will be difficult for him or her to start reasoning things that are against the normal tendency of human race in terms of moderate way of living. Now, it is because there is a saying that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. Now, when he said something just now, which is key, hunger does not know whether you have a job or you don't have a job. Now, when there is hunger in the land, when there is famine in the land, people must survive. Now, how they survive is rest with them. Some may look at it, I cannot survive by tilling the ground. Some will say, I cannot survive by begging. Some will say, the only way I can survive is to take it by force, which is never good. Which is never good. But having said that, the rising rate of insecurity is directly proportional to the unemployment we see today. And if government, in their own wisdom, create that enabling environment, we've seen companies living here. We've been hearing series of stories about ShopRite. When ShopRite came, we knew how many people it took out of the streets. Now we are hearing different story of them packing out of the country. Now we've had saga with MTN and federal government over time. Now, in as much as we want to say, government, the funding into government, the money they pump into governance has created unemployment, which we see today. Another vital aspect of what has created unemployment is the law, or the policies to which all these companies that are expected to create jobs face on a daily basis. Now, you and I know that an average person cannot watch DSTV. But I have a statistic of the actual amount an individual is paying for a DSTV bouquet in South Africa. But in here is another thing. Now, if you continue to have inequality in the exchange rate of a naira to a dollar, you have succeeded in creating inequality in the statutory order of employment in the country. So not until government or the people who we call the elders, because I'm worried in the sense that if government is not doing anything well, there are people that are supposed to challenge government, which we call the elders, and we will queue behind them. Now these people right now, they are failing us because much money are being pumped into governance. And once I take it or you leave it, we never even had this unemployment rate like this, even when it was in the military era. So if it was not as high like this in military era, now we are not talking about a government that you and I runs. Automatically we cannot even create job for ourselves. That speaks volume. I think it's high time we come back to a round table and sit down and said, yes, what has created this unemployment, yes, they are divergent. It's not one way. Let us not classify it as one angle. They are divergent in nature. It was here in this Benin, even when the unemployment rate as at when Jonathan was on ground, or our former governor Lucky Benedion was on ground and everything, even when the unemployment rate was not as, it was like, it was not a double figure. Let me use that word. Okay. It was not a double figure. We still had people leaving this country to seek for a greener pasture in foreign land. Yeah. Now, that aspect of it is another angle. Yes. Greed. Yes. So, but however, government has a major role in tackling all this thing. And how do you tackle it? First of all, right now, an average youth want to play politics. Yes. Why? Because it's not a lucrative business for all of them. You don't work, you just sit down, just do ga 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 ga. Millions of naira is in your bank account. Now, this is not how politics is played. I think they should be sincere to themselves that all this money we are using to pay ourselves can take care of as many people we can take. All you see in this country now is opening of hotel, event center. Is that the employment that we are looking for?
But that will employ some people.
On how much? Just like we have secondary school teachers, a private school secondary teacher. You teach for a month and you are paid 20,000, 15,000, and you call that employment?
Some even 10,000.
You call that employment? How much is a bag of rice? That I can collect what is not up to bag of rice in 30 days. And look at it. So these are what attribute to unemployment. I believe you or me. Everybody, any person working right now in all this private school where they give them peanuts and everything is as good as unemployment. And I've said to myself, if government can standardize bank to make bank the way it is today, why is it that we are afraid to standardize this all this secondary school everywhere? Because the person working in one primary school or the other in private school is looking for a job elsewhere. Why? Because that job is not paying him well. He's just using that to manage.
That falls under what we call underemployment in
yes,
economics.
Which is still unemployment and everything because they are underemployed. So if you look at these and all these statistics, it forms the workforce of the jobless people that we are talking about. And guess what? If my money cannot satisfy my need, I need to look for how it will satisfy it. So by doing, the only way is to face the same government, which I know has this money, to solve everything that they do. And that's what you are seeing now. The crime has left individualistic aspect of it, that it has even left back, is not to the government, security agency, which they know will make them to run away from the crime. So they are not facing them right head on. Where are we going? The next time you will see it now, they will face Aso Rock and start facing government house. And that is what will be left if care is not taken. So our elders, to which we are supposed to queue behind to say enough is enough, are really not doing something. They should wake up and say this government is not working, and take it or you leave it. From 2015 to this time, APC has not done anything. And without apology, APC has not done anything.
Okay, we don't have any APC representative here to speak for them.
I'm not a politician, so
yeah,
they've
so
not
we cannot
done
say
anything.
APC has not done anything.
They have not done anything.
No,
why? Because if the statistics say, as at 2015, we had 10%, I mean 9% unemployment rate. Between 2015 and now, we have not even got it to 8 years. We are not talking about 33%.
The APC-led government is doing something about it. Okay, let's get the thought of Apostle.
Let me say this.
Yes.
I'm very happy the way Doctor is speaking.
Yes.
I will say this, sir. It is not just a personal opinion. I think it's almost over, that means,
but let's look at way forward now.
I'm coming, sir.
How do we solve the problem?
I will be very happy if the federal government, led by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, can take us back to where he met us. Because even at that time, not that we were in El Dorado, but life were not like this. Hunger was not like this. Insecurity was not like this. If they can take us back to where they met us, it would have been better. At least we will not look for a better, even though they did do anything now. Even though the president did not do anything, let him just take us back to where he met us. At least that rice was not equal to 10,000 bag of rice.
9,000 naira.
Okay, you get
50 kg.
Way forward.
Way 79.
For me, Like I told you when I started,
yes,
I am an employer of labor.
Okay.
In my own little capacity.
Yes.
Now, by the grace of God, and God is helping me, and our elite, they need to help us.
Okay. How?
There are many of them God has blessed. They can set up a business, and so that people can work there. All those money they are keeping in the bank, let the money be useful. Let those money be useful. Because we will not just wait for the government to low, because the government is really failing us. Mostly the federal government is failing us. And again, like the government of Edo State, His Excellency Governor Obaseki, he's doing well. But in the area of the creative, creative arts, he needs to do a lot there. Because that alone can employ a lot of people. Because we have a lot of talented youth who God has blessed. But that area is not really well harnessed. I'm talking about from Edo State now.
Creative industry.
The creative industry. It has not really been attended to. He's doing well. I respect him. But this area, I belong there too.
Okay.
I'm there. I belong there. Nothing is happening there. Nothing.
And that creative industry can employ
a lot of youth. Can remove a lot of youth from the street. Because like in Edo State, we have a lot of creative people, talented people in Davos area.
Yesterday was the International Day of Creativity. There was a reporter talking about that yesterday.
If I tell you how many, even with the little effort we are making, if I tell you how many people we have taken out of the street, trade them on different skill in terms of creativity, in the creative industry. If the government can come in, for example, the government can, even though it's not all about bringing money. For example, I observe there's a particular challenge. For example, I produce TV series, and there are a lot of people on my platform. I pay people working for me. Now, and at the end, I discovered that, most of the industry in Edo State here, like the banks, like let's say MTN, Glo, Etisala, and many of them, Nine Mobile, for example,
the communication sector.
They don't sponsor, they are not involved in sponsorship in the area of the, creative industry.
Okay.
For example,
so the point you are making is that government should create an enabling environment.
Yes.
For the creative industry to do well.
To drive, because if it will affect the economy, it will remove people from the street.
Okay. Now, apart from the creative industry,
yes,
don't you think it's also good for youth to acquire vocational skills?
I'm coming, sir.
Yes.
For example, now, yes, it's true. I'm coming there. Even there are people, for example, I know how many people we have trained on editing camera,
No, we can't talk about your personal business on this program.
Okay, let me leave it. Yeah. Now, a lot of people have even acquired skill, but the money to start is the problem. Now, it's not just employing people paying their salary. The government, for example, the government of the state or the federal government, like, let me not talk about federal government, because a lot of money that we are not seeing is the theory, story. We are not seeing the money. Now,
some persons may be seeing it.
I've carried out research, maybe from
some persons may be seeing it.
For example,
make your point.
The government can, if you want to reduce joblessness, the government can come out with some forms, because the government will make money, because they will pay tax later.
Okay.
Can come out with some form like grant, for example, reasonable amount. Even you might not be able to help everybody, but at least a numbers of people, and they come with their proposal, and you make sure there's a representative from the government that monitors everything, and they go into the business, and by the time they are doing well, they will also employ other people, and they will pay tax to you. The government at the end is making money. You get it now?
And also taking people off the streets.
You get it now? It will reduce unemployment.
Okay.
Like I talked about those whether political elite, whether all those of you that God has blessed you, you have money. Those money you are keeping in the bank, establish a business that can employ. It can even be 5 persons. It can be 6 persons, for example, that are working there. You have removed them from the labor market.
Okay, thank you, Apostle. That's a good one. The point that Apostle has just made is the issue of creating an enabling environment for those who are talented to actually take advantage of. And I think that's the point he's trying to make. Okay, now, Dr. Maxwell, the way forward.
Yeah.
Government is believed that government cannot employ everybody. That's the general belief. So don't you think there's need for private sector investment, there's need for youths to acquire vocational skills, there's need for people to start thinking outside the box? I know that you are in the university. It's not only about formal education. There should be issue of vocational skills, people learning how to use their hands.
Thank you, Egosa. There are two great men, one blessed memory, and the other one is the Esama Bini.
Okay.
Archbishop B.A. Benson in the house.
Okay.
Now, when these two people, far back 80s, they envisaged today, and they did something about today. So that's why I will forever remain grateful to these two people. It's Esama of Benin.
Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel.
Dr. Gabriel
Osawaru
Igbinedion. Now, another is the Bensi Idahosa, Archbishop Bensi Idahosa. Now, these two people, if I tell you the number of people that feed from their table day by day, it will amaze you. Even government cannot even do half of what they are doing. Now, having said that, government is not an employer of labor. I think the earlier we get this right, the better for all of us. Government employ people based on civil service operational models, because their work must be done. It ends there. Now, what you do is that you create an environment for people to do their business in the best possible way. Now, I haven't said that without missing words. When you look at this thing from both adequate and inadequate aspect of it, you will agree with me that whether you take it or not, that the government has one way or the other failed in terms of policy that makes these people to stabilize. Now, of what good will it be to me when I create a business and I know that you are making me? Secondly,
you are looking at terms of taxation.
Taxation.
Okay.
One, you are making me, I generate my light, because no business will succeed without power. Now, we live in a society where everybody generates light for themselves. How many diesel and fuel can you buy in a day? It's like you are making money and you are paying it back. At the end of the month, you gain nothing. Now, these are indices that create unemployment in a society. Take it or you leave it, if the power sector is properly handled, as the APC actually told us, because the way they painted it, I listened to Fashola, how the generation of power is going to be solved within specific period. Now, if they have actually stabilized power, the weather, because you are talking about vocational study, artisans and everything, how will they succeed? The woman that is going to bake cake, how much diesel can he buy? How much fuel can she buy? Is their refrigerator working? Now, take it or you leave it. For the past 1 week, there is no light in my place. Now, the weather that live close to me and everything is using diesel to work. Now, there is a repercussion effect. Now, if we must get this thing right, can we fix the economy? And what makes up the economy? Can we fix power first? Why is it that we cannot just say, okay, let's fix power, let's leave road. For the next 2 years, we will deliver power. Okay, in the next 2 years, let's fix road. We will deliver on road. As we speak, no way as a country, which is even not up to half population of Nigeria, is currently working on road. What's happening? The road they usually take, they feel that the snow makes them not to travel on time. So if you want to spend an hour, you spend 2 hours based on snow. Now they are already working on a submerged, a floating bridge under the water that people cannot travel with their cars and everything, a floating bridge. So now we just have a country where we don't think. It's like our thinking faculty has been taken care of. Now, the only way this country can work.
Our thinking faculty has been taken care of by who?
By the politician, that we don't even think.
Okay.
Or we think now that we've removed our thinking faculty, we replace it with chairman. Now, not until we come to a round table to say, okay, fine, please, this thing is not working. This country is not working the way it is. Is it a crime to try another vote then? When I grew up, I was told that, okay, a particular model was tried. They changed. Another model was tried. Is it crime? See, if a country must work, federal government don't create job, you create enabling environment.
Yeah.
Let each state generate their funds. Now, if Edo State is saddled with these mineral resources, authorities and everything, I believe the governor, Obaseki, which we know is a good man, is working. If he's not doing anything well, all of us, both you and I, we will carry camera, we will walk down to Osadebe Avenue, and we will stay there for 5 days or 6 days. Give us this. But in a case where the man you gave power has little or nothing to contribute to the development of the economy blueprint of this country, will you blame him? So I think we need to get all this policy right, come to a round table, say to ourselves that this country is not working. In the next 50 years, if this country remain like this, we will remain like this. I told you the last time we met that when they were just making, President gave order, he went outside. Which result have you gotten? Please, can you tell me? He's back now. Okay. No result. And they told us, oh, we will write out the list of names of the people sponsoring. Where are the names as we speak?
We are still waiting. The names will come out.
Oh, amen.
Okay. So, closing remarks. Apostle Elvis, closing remarks. Time is not our friend on the program. Okay.
My viewers, I want us to know one thing. The government will not give us a job. We should play our part. All we are asking for the government is to create the enabling environment.
Yeah.
On our part, to my youth, I will advise, it's good for you to acquire skill. You might be a graduate, but it's good for you to acquire skill even as a graduate. You know,
vocational skills or any other skills. Okay.
It's very important.
Closing remarks, Dr. Maxwell.
Well, thank you. Not having a job is not a license to crime.
Okay.
I love law. They say law is blind.
Yeah.
You don't commit a crime, you now go to court and you said, I don't know, or I didn't know. So whichever way, I want to beg the youth. We are the workforce of this country. Irrespective of what our forefathers have done, our political class, what they have done is not enough for we to engage in vices that are against the law of the land. Let's still support them. Let's give them the enable environment to also do their job. Because if you attack a security man that is to protect you and I, that will make that job to remain and pay your father, pay your mother, pay me, how do you allow them to function? So I beg, please, give them the enabling environment, the youth. Allow the government to work even when we know that they are not working, but allow them to work. At the end of the day, we will get to promised land.
Thank you very much. That's the program for this week, 60 Minutes Nigeria. I hope you've enjoyed the discussion. I told you, my guests have been very tremendous on the show. They've given solution to the problem of unemployment. And I believe that those who are watching, my guests, my viewer rather, includes government officials. And they have some ideas that they can actually deduce from what my guests have posited and implement. It's all geared towards ensuring a better country for us all. On that note, once again, thank you, my guests, for being a part of today's program.
Thank you, sir.
And my viewer there, thanks for your time with us, for spending 1 hour with us on the program. My name is Ego Sagmalao. Do have a wonderful weekend ahead. Bye-bye.